Hello everyone, welcome back to Elite English Club, and today I brought for class 11 chapter Silk Road from Hornbill book. So let's start the chapter. This chapter is written by Nick Middleton, who was born on 1960 and is a British physical geographer and supernumerary fellow of St. Anne College, Oxford. He specializes in desertification. Nick was born in London, England. As a geographer, he has traveled to more than 50 countries. Now we will see the introduction of the chapter. The story is written by Nick. This chapter is about the narrator's journey from slopes of Rabu to Mount Kailash to complete the Kora. To bid him farewell, Hamu gave him a long-sleeved sheepskin coat. He hired Tustan Scar his journey and took Daniel along to escort him to Dachan. Now story begins from the protagonist who wanted to go to Mount Kailash to complete the Kora. He hires Tustan to drive him up to Mount Kailash. As a farewell gift, Ramu gave him a long-sleeved sheepskin coat. He took Daniel as his companion till Dachan. When they started the journey, Tustan took a shortcut to the southwest, which was a direct route to Mount Kailash. They had to cross high mountain passes to reach their destination. Tustan assured him that it would be no problem if there would be no snow. They crossed through few gazelles, a herd of wild asses, and shepherds tending to the flocks. When they reached the hill, they passed dark tents which were home for nomads. He saw a Tibetan mastiff standing outside the tent as a guard. These mastiffs ran after his car as he reached near the tents. These dogs had large jaws. As soon as they entered the valley, they witnessed snow-capped mountains with rivers flowing which were blocked with ice. When they were riding through the hill, the turns became sharper and roads became bumpier. Titan was driving in third gear. The protagonist could feel the pressure in his ears. He held his nose, snorted to clear the congestion. He checked his wristwatch. They were at 5,210 meters above sea level. They reached their first hurdle, which was a road filled with snow. Titan threw dirt on the snow and drove carefully on the road. They resumed their journey. The protagonist felt his head was hurting. He took a few sips of water from his water bottle. They were still climbing up the hill. They reached at 5,515 meters above sea level. They stopped again, and this time the fuel tank hissed when Titan unscrewed the top. As the petrol was expanding due to low atmospheric pressure, Titan told them not to smoke around it. Soon in the afternoon, around 2 o'clock, they stopped for lunch. The protagonist's headache was gone by now. By late afternoon, they reached a small town called Hor. They reached the east-west highway again. It was the old route from Lhasa to Kashmir. Daniel got off the car and took a lift to Lhasa. Their car had a few punctures which worried Titan. He got them fixed and protagonist waited at a local cafe for of her while having a glass of tea. He found her a miserable place. After a while, Titan reached to him and they resumed their journey again. At night around 10:30 p.m., they stopped at a guest house in Darchin to spend the night. The protagonist got ill and suffered from nose congestion due to the change in altitude and cold weather. He stayed awake all night. Next morning, Titan took him to Tibetan Medical College where he consulted a Tibetan doctor who gave him a 5-day course medicines in a brown envelope. After taking a full day of medicine, the protagonist was feeling good. Titan left him 3 hours thereafter, assuring his health condition. The protagonist was staying at Dachin. That place had a general store where Chinese cigarettes, soaps, and other things were available. In the afternoon, the men gathered at a shabby table to play pool every day. Women would wash their hair in that narrow stream. Dachin had one problem, it had no pilgrims. According to the local people, in the peak season of pilgrimage, the place would be filled with travelers. He met a person in the Dachin's only cafe. His name was Norbu, who was a Tibetan working in Beijing at the Institute of Ethnic Literature of Chinese Academy of Social Science. He came to Darchin to complete the Korah just like the protagonist. He was fat and found it difficult to walk. The protagonist decided to go on pilgrimage with him. They hired York to carry their luggage. Norbu finally said it is not possible for him while he collapsed across the table and laughed hilariously. His tummy was also too big. Now this was the story. So I hope you liked it. Keep watching with Namita. Till then, take care.